Hi guys, this is Breaker, and guess what? I have a replay of EGiNcontrl facing off against eXeA's very own Hephaistas. You know, I mean, there's just nothing better than really casting a celebrity like this. And, you know, Hephaistas, you know, he's really showing his respect. He says, sir. He didn't just say, good luck, have fun. He says, sir. Yes, sir, in control. It's nice to see you facing off against one of eXeA's finest. And it looks like in this replay, Hephaistas has made it back to GM League. Of course, here we are in the lower left-hand corner with our favorite EU Zerg. It's none other than eXeA's very own Hephaistas. Oh, I'm sorry, wait a minute. I did make a mistake. If I am able to distinguish this correctly, eXeA Hephaistas has, you know, he plays on the NA ladder a lot. I'm going to go ahead and exit this program to kind of get rid of the background noise interference. And here we go. EGiNcontrl is kind of moving out with this pro, getting a read on what Hephaistas does. Of course, no mistakes this time, guys. You know, EGiNcontrl plays Protoss. I originally thought he played Terran way back in the day. You know, that was close to a year ago that I made a mistake uploading a replay where I thought he was off racing. But, you know, his recent performance, don't get me wrong, guys, he's a great Protoss player. He's better than the average Protoss by any means, any Masters League Protoss, that is, and all that good stuff, all that great swag. But unfortunately, I did have the honor of casting him at the Rhythmics RSL, but I'm trying to think. Yeah, that was for Wings of Liberty, and it just didn't really. I don't know. His performance just wasn't all that great. He played a total of 6-7 games, and he won only one of them, if I'm not mistaken. It was 2 best-of-5s, and versus a Terran and versus a Zerg, he only won a single game. But, you know, certainly not dissing his prowess by any means. You know, he's a great personality. He's a funny guy at tournaments. He really is. And everybody enjoys talking to him, and it looks like he opted for a Forge Fast expand as well as the Nexus first opener. A lot of the times what we see from, I mean, what's kind of trending just slowly but steadily is, like, I want to say it's a Creator Prime style opening. But I do think it's interesting that we already have the probe going back here. I think maybe we just have Hephaistas trying to trick him up into throwing down a pylon. But no, these lings are going to catch on to it. Forge was ready to go, but of course, it seems that EGiNcontrl has his priorities straight. He goes ahead and throws down the defensive cannon first. One ling comes over here to just kind of get a scout out and see if the probe snuck over here, but no, it's over here. He did have one on the Zelnaga Watchtower as well, and it's interesting to note that we already have another probe ready to move out. I think the priority of this one will basically not really be to throw down a proxy pylon, but instead to check and see if there's a third here, and that's exactly where it's rallied to. Now, some players, this is what I like about some Protoss players, they actually will overcommit to, not overcommit, but they're so dedicated to finding out whether or not their opponent's taking a third, which at present we don't see Hephaistas doing. It looks like he's got some kind of 2-base play coming up. I'm not sure what it's all about, but you know, EGiNcontrl, he's thinking, okay, what's this guy up to? There's no third yet. And I'm a little curious to see just what Hephaistas is doing now. Is he multitasking, out-tabbing, or what? Right now he's droning up. His macro is just slipping a teeny bit. And we got double gas in the main at 33 supply. I think we're going to see something like what we see from Dire Strait a lot. But I'm not going to say that to diss or blow away any strategies. I'm not trying to foreshadow too much, but there's a lot of possibilities with 2-base Zerg taking gas this early. Sorry about that. It looks like my StarCraft client just suffered a hiccup. If not, it was my XSplit. One thing that we could certainly see is 2-base Mutaplay, a Nidus all-in at this stage. But we do have a Stargate in production for EGiNcontrl. He's going to town on those unbuildable plates, and they're defenseless versus that cannon. Yeah, kind of reminds me of just, you know, killing some critters. Hephaistas still not taking his natural, of course, getting up to layer tech right now. And tacking on the gases at the natural, both of them. Prioritizing droning up at this stage, and if you just look at the accounting skills of Hephaistas, once these 4 drones pop, he's going to be able to move 6 of them to gas, and then he will have basically, you'll have near optimal saturation on his natural. But, I'm a little curious, just what exactly does he have planned on layer tech to base? It's one of those things that has me wondering right now. He actually got the layer tech, he started layer tech before he started metabolic boost, so I'm thinking this could be a muta opener. I'm leaning towards that right now because of the gas income that will be coming after the, after the layer finish, but it looks like I was wrong. He did go ahead and throw down his infestation pit and a Nidus canal, so it was probably what I was thinking of earlier, a Nidus all-in of some form. Do we have queens in production now? We have 2 in a forward-ish position, and I think we're waiting for about 2 more to get in production. The question is, how are these queens going to be used until they're actually summoned? Well, here we go. Looks like they're going to be put in a kind of defensive location, if you will. Ling's, of course, going to town on those unbuildable plates. It's the unbuildable plate massacre that takes place in every single game. We do have some Phoenixes over here, so I think we're going to see some trouble with this play. We have Enduring Locusts and Swarm Hosts on the way. So, I don't want to say this is typical, but I want to say this is certainly a very new, strong build that is trending on the ladder. And let's just see what EGiNcontrl has vision of over here. He's got vision of just about every inch of his base internally, so there's no way he's gonna get a Nidus. There's no way he's gonna receive a Nidus worm without some kind of a thorough distraction. Mothership core coming over here, didn't get a read into what's going on in the main. And of course the Nidus canal is actually going down over here. I like this move a lot, but how many queens do we have inside of that? 3 queens, and we actually have a substantial number of Phoenixes coming in here. So this game is going to get nutty real quick. We got the Phoenixes going to town on the queens, the overlords, and everything else in between. If he can supply block Hephaistas, that would actually slow down the steam of this attack a lot, but it looks like no. He's just going to come back and try and defend what's coming his way at home. The best thing I can see happening for him is maybe picking up some of these queens and trying to work on them, but with transfuses readily available on 1 queen and more swarm hosts coming out, I don't see this working out too well in the favor of EGiNcontrl. Right now he's got a Void Ray in production. That's something I like, but at the same time he doesn't have any detection out just yet, to the best of my knowledge, aside from cannons. No, he does not even have a he doesn't have a Tempest even. Or not a Tempest. Jeez! I know the name of it in Chinese, I just don't know the name of it in English. What do you call that unit? The Oracle. There we go. He doesn't have an Oracle. Alright, and it looks like the Cybernetics core was just taken down. That's quite critical because we won't see any more sentries or stalkers in production in the near future. We do have Colossi on the way, however, and the one thing that EGiNcontrl really needs to stop this attack is the one thing that he doesn't have, and that is detection. Forward detection, and that's just not going to work out. This is actually going to force him to be on the defensive for a while. As long as Overseer is here, we're going to see Hephaistas' attack continue to build up and generate steam, or generate damage, if you will. Nidus Worm is still okay, and there it is, the supply block. The one thing that EGiNcontrl could do to slow down this attack is done a little bit too late. Now there's a lot more queens coming into the mix. There's a total of 6 here, and these swarm hosts are kind of rallied a little bit short of where they should be attacking, but slowly but surely we see EGiNcontrl kind of, reluctant to attack. He's forced to use zealots, which are not, they're not the best thing to use versus swarm hosts, especially with locusts here. Void Rays, Phoenixes, and the pylon that powered that Stargate has just been taken down, and we see Hephaistas is now attacking the natural Nexus. Probes have been pulled. A couple of them will fall before getting into the main, and now we have a 2-base Zerg versus a 1-base Protoss. The metagaming mistake, the big mistake that we have seen from EGiNcontrl right now is simply not having enough map control. I don't know if you would actually call that a legitimate mistake or legitimate excuse to be losing in this engagement. But I really, there's also some slips that we see from Hephaistas. He's not presently rallying his swarm hosts into his opponent's main, and even if he does, there's 3 Colossi here that can stop them, and there's force fields that are ready to go down on the main. Here we go. Void Rays and Phoenix is actually going into the main as a last resort to attack Hephaistas. Presently, we actually see that the infestation pit, as exposed as it is now destroyed, so we're not going to see any more locusts in production after these 3 pop, at least not immediately, and we really need to see, Hephaistas excuse me, get his crisis management up. He's in a lot of trouble when prismatic alignment comes. When prismatic alignment is ready for use again on these Void Rays, they're actually going to go to town on that hatchery at the natural and destroy it if we can see him go into offensive mode yet again. We have EGiNcontrl on 1 base, down not by too much supply. Cybernetics core has been rebuilt so we can see sentries in production again. And right now, EGiNcontrl is basically forced to just sit on his hands presently. Here we go. The Void Ray is going to town. Prismatic alignment has not been activated, but there's just so many queens here pulled back that I think we could actually see... No. This is too many queens, I think. Now finally we see EGiNcontrl basically using force fields quite effectively. He actually killed 1 queen there. No transfuses going down to save it. And all these locusts are forced to SimCity around that 1 force field. And all of these swarm hosts, oh my god, there's almost 24 of them. Now, one thing that I will remind you of is that, oh no, the swarm hosts are not being protected by the queens, so they can't really do anything to save them. Phoenixes are lifting up these queens, trying to take them down as quickly as possible. And one thing that I like about this is that we see EGiNcontrl just basically tearing everything asunder while we see him defending his home base as best as possible. He's got a few sentries over here. The queens are trying to snipe them. He's kind of threw down a crummy force field there, but it's better than nothing. And it looks like the Void Rays and the Phoenixes for EGiNcontrl are pulling back. Force fields failed on the ramp. There's now 4 Colossi here trying their best to hold their ground against this wave of locusts. It looks like they have succeeded so far, and the one thing that we can see EGiNcontrl do to try and thwart this attack would now be to destroy these corruptors. Instead, he says GG, and he has left the game. My god, this is certainly one of the better games that I have seen so far, guys. Alright, so if you liked what you saw, just click on that glowing red button on the right side of your screen. That would be the follow button. This has been Breaker. I will see you next time.